a couple teams that had high hopes coming out of the gate. Frustration starting to build, and you can even sense it with the fans. They're getting a little bit nervous here.
And this is the critical stage where when you've gotten out of the gate slowly, it's your leadership that has to step up. They've got to have a strong voice in the locker room, not overreact to mounting frustrations, and just calm the nerves of the young players. It's important to keep your unity in tough times.
One of the coaches always say, don't let go of the rope. Everybody's got to pull in the right direction, same direction. Don't let go of the rope.
Great point, Kev.
Now a chance, courtesy of Gatorade, all fueled up and ready to go. The starting five on the floor. So on the floor for Utah, they've got Carter. Rubber is out there with Robin Lopez. Then it's Conley, and it's Irving at the two guard. And he gets it to go.
And don't let the lean physique fool you. Kareem with the strength to finish through contact as well as anybody who's ever played.
Weber can't hit.
The only way he doesn't finish is if the defense gets in his face. Nice job.
A nice shot by Booker.
And they don't want to get in a habit of giving him open looks from three. First quarter still, but not who you want to leave open.
Irving drives in, and the rejection by Abdul-Jabbar.
And beyond the obvious physical skills, Kareem just has a great understanding for the game. Times his move perfectly to get that shot.
Wilkins kicks it to West. Irving against Abdul-Jabbar. Booker outside. Just 5 to shoot. Over Lopez. And it's Houston with another.
Very rare for a guy to enter the league with such a polished mid-range shot. Booker, so impressive.
Doris, when you think about Devin Booker...
Yo no me quisiera saber quién es ese tal Booker. Qué imparable ese tal Booker. Que él mete como si él fuera Curry.
Most points ever scored against the Celtics. More than Wilt Chamberlain. Think about that, Kev.
And Vince Carter picks up a foul. That's his first foul. Houston with a big group substitution here. Ayton, he's checked in for Abdul-Jabbar. Kenneth Faried comes in for Booker. Bielitsa, he's checked in for Al-Farouq Aminu. And it's Napier in for West. So Utah going with an almost entirely new group here. Juan Hernan-Gomez, he's checked in for Lopez. Gordon comes in for Vince Carter. Siegfried checked in for Irving. And it's Brown in for Mike Conley.
Well, that's all by design now. Get the shot as soon as possible on that inbound pass.
Brown kicks to Hernan-Gomez. Back to Brown. Now, here is Weber. Defense is right there, and that one is good. Weber's got 6. First quarter of ball, almost 2.5 minutes in. Pass to Bielitsa. 23 seconds left here in the first quarter. Back to Napier. Faried trying to get open. And it's Napier missing. To the inside. It's tipped. And it's out of bounds. Utah able to retain possession here.
Playing with lots of energy here, trying to cause turnovers.
I love the tenacity right now. Definitely on the prowl, looking for every opportunity to make a steal. The other team has got to be sharp.
Brown the pass to Gordon. One second left. And that one released in time, but no good. And so the first quarter is in the books. Rockets lead by 5. We've got more NBA basketball coming.
Esto huele a paliza. Este equipo de Houston está demasiado fuerte.
Robin Lopez talks about the importance of being the...
That's something I relish.
And Greg, that's why his teammates love him.
Absolutely. You can tell Lopez really wants to make an impact on defense, on every possession.
And for those of you just tuning in, the second quarter of action is where we're at right now. And looking at what we've seen from Houston, what do you guys think?
Listen, early on taking the league, I just like their approach offensively.
I think their play calling has been exceptional. They've played with purpose, and they've played with aggressiveness.
Kenneth Faried is out there with Bielitsa. Then it's Wilkins. Then there's Ayton. And it's Napier in at the point guard. That's the group starting the second quarter for the Rockets. They've been looking out of sync offensively.
Yeah, their offense has ground to a standstill.
Now let's go to the sideline and catch up with our Hall of Famer, David Aldridge.
Well, guys, the Jazz had to weather the loss of Gordon Hayward, so they need to play together to have success. Coach Quinn Snyder said, we expect guys to put the team in front of themselves and support each other. Our strength isn't in one guy. We need each other. Kevin?
David, one thing for sure, they come to play almost every game. Thank you. With college basketball expanding the three-point arc out to FIBA range, Doris, does that set the table, you think, for the NBA to move its arc, their three-point shooting line, out as well?
I think one of the things that I would like to see, Kevin, is a more unified game across countries, right? We've talked about the NBA and basketball in particular becoming a more global game. I think one thing that I'd really love to see at the lower levels of basketball in the formative stages is young players have to play with a shot clock. Because what that forces those players to do is be three-tool players. Under duress of a shot clock, you better be able to put the ball on the deck, make a pass, or take a shot. So I think the more we can normalize a set of international rules, the better basketball is going to be long-term.
And a first time out of the game called for Utah.
Yeah, just ice cold right now from the floor. Time to regroup.
I think, Greg, they look lost and they look frustrated. Not sure how they're missing so many shots right now.
Houston with a big group substitution here. Abdul-Jabbar is checked in for 8. Bertanis comes in for Fareed. Devin Booker, he's checked in for Dominique Wilkins. And West subs in for Shabazz Napier. Oh, that's blocked. Booker outside. And that basket pushes the lead to double digits. Booker's got 7 points in the game.
All the tools. When you're talking about Booker, he's got everything he needs to be one of the league's great scorers.
Here's Blakeney, takes the 12-footer and hits.
And just enough wiggle room to get off his shot.
Oh, I'll tell you, that's good basketball. You have to get a little creative against the big man, but I love his initiative.
And there's a whistle. That goes on Hernan Gomez. That is his first foul of the game. Al-Farouq Aminu, he's checked in for Bielitsa. And a little under 2.5 minutes gone by here in the second quarter. It's stolen by Hernan Gomez. And now Irving pushing it up. No one back to stop him. A huge slam. The perfect end of the fast break.
And that's how you make a steal count. Turn it into a quick slam at the other end.
It was really a case. It looked like Greg Anthony right there, if I can say so. It was really a case of a great defensive play triggering some instant offense.
Yeah, and he was so quick to break on that one. A good sign that he read the play.
Moves back up, and they call the foul. So he's got the and one chance here to make it a three-point play.
And when we talk about players who don't mind shooting with a hand in their face, Kareem's at the top of the list.
And here's Irving. Takes the three. And that shot was up in time, but doesn't go in. And so it's Houston going into the break with a 10-point lead. Their defense has been active and effective. It's time. All right, thank you, David. And folks, don't go away after the break. We'll see you right back here for the...
And now, the 2K Sports Halftime Show.
And what a show. Houston found themselves in a close game in the first. They were on a nice little roll in that opening period as they got their lead up as high as 7 points. Their play in the second quarter was inspired as they turned what had been a tight contest into a 10-point ball game by the time we reached. And it's just about time now for the third quarter to get under.
And we've got third quarter of basketball for you, too. quarters in the books. But kind of like what Devin Booker is doing in this one.
And I loved in that first half that they were patient, looked for good shots, and knocked them down.
You know, I think, Greg, they never settled for the first look. It was always about, let's get the best shot possible. Really good judgment on the offensive end.
Utah calls timeout.
Here's a look at some stats. For Devin Booker. Good season for him last year, putting up about 25 points per, 4 assists and 4 rebounds, and he paced the whole team in points per game last season.
Well, his teammates understood that he was their best option, and understandably, Greg, they got him the rock.
So on the floor for Utah, we've got Conley. Irving is out there with Robin Lopez, and it's Hernan Gomez in at the force line. Here's Weber, and it's wide right. It's off the rim.
And he's just a tough defender. Good positioning to get after that shot.
Right, perfect contest in that instance, Greg, making it really hard on the shooter to have any kind of space at all.
Well, court vision, Dora, is one of those intangible skills. You had it when you played, and when it comes to seeing the floor, I'm sure you have people that impress you with the way they see what's going on.
Kevin, I feel very lucky and fortunate to have witnessed one of the seminal players of his generation and arguably the greatest passer in the history of the NBA, and that's LeBron James. I mean, this guy's ability to make any pass, to put a 50-foot pass on a rope from one side of the floor, maybe from the hash mark to the opposite corner, and put it in the shooting pocket of different players is mind-boggling. At the center spot, you've got the young and talented and pass-first center of Nikola Jokic. And then, of course, the man who, to me, for a 10-year stretch, was the best pure point guard in the NBA, and that's Chris Paul. And listen, historically, some of the guys I loved watching, Steve Nash, John Stockton, I loved Mo Cheeks. Listen, I'm very partial to men who want to distribute the basketball and who take special relish in watching guys score baskets off their work.
West with the steal. Over Gordon. The step back jumper is good. West has got 4 points this quarter.
Continuing to push the action and build this lead.
You can tell they've got their foot on the gas pedal right now. No slowing down. The defense starting to look helpless.
And the Jazz call time here. Michael Conley, he's checked in for Brown.
Taking a look at some stats for Napier. Last season's performance for him. Last season, he averaged 8 points a game, 2 assists and 2 rebounds. And those numbers, solid, not spectacular. And sometimes what you see is what you get.
There's no doubt. This is a guy who understands his role, knows he's got to give you quality minutes, and that's what they expect from him.
Clock is at 3. Gordon finds Lopez. Over Ayton. Rockets leading by 14. Napier passes to Bielitz. Now here's Fareed, defended by Carter. Fareed the bounce pass. It's good.
Just terrific at executing in the paint. Ayton has a nice array of shots to choose from.
Carter outside. Pass to Weber. Over to the wing. And there's the foul. Will go on Shabazz Napier. That's his first foul.
I mean, that's a tough break for the D. I mean, he took the hit and drew the whistle.
Houston making a switch here. Bertson is checked in. Just under 2.5 minutes into the third quarter now. Carter outside. In the corner, it's Gordon. 4 on the shot clock. Busts the J after the cagey pass fake.
I'll tell you, you're not going to find a much more confident basketball player. He always believes the points are going to come.
Here's West. And that one goes long.
Boy, the mid-range becomes slightly more difficult when the defense is as active as they are there.
And it goes out of bounds. That one off West. 11 seconds left in the third. Knocked loose. Outside Conley. That will count. An amazing shot, just barely beat the buzzer.
That is as big a shot as you are ever.
And so it's the Houston Rockets, up by a dozen here at the end of the quarter. And we'll see if they can keep up their tremendous shooting they've been dialed in so far from the field. We come back right after this. And while we can now, let's take a look at today's State Farm assist of the game.
And how about the big fella here showing us he's got some point guard skill here with the tremendous setup.
I'll tell you, in today's game, you want skill and decision-making at every position.
And 1 quarter to go in a game that, to this point, has not been an evenly fought contest. They've got Wilkins, Evan Booker out there with West. Then it's Kareem, and it's Bertson in at the 3 spot. That's the 5 for Houston right now. Here's Irving. He kicks to Conley. And it's out of bounds. Utah able to retain possession here. Al-Farouq Aminu. He's checked in for Houston. Al-Farouq Aminu. Six to shoot. Conley against West. This one for 3. Conley's shot is off. They can take their time on this possession.
Yeah, it wouldn't be a bad idea. Just give themselves a little bit of a break.
And the basket by West. West has got 4 points in the quarter.
And some guys just have a nose for scoring. And this one couldn't have been any easier.
Well, really good awareness by the scorer. You're seeing an opening in the defense and exploit beautifully.
Conley surveying the D. And contact on the shot, so he'll be shooting free throws here.
Yeah, former 4th overall draft pick. Conley took a while to develop physically, but the mental parts have always been there.
And the Jazz making a change.
Ese Jerry West es bien difícil. Yo no sé quién fue que me pidió, como que quería jugar, filmar Jerry West, no lo filmó.
That hurts a bit.
And so it's West with it. He brings it up for the Rockets. And there's the pass to Abdul-Jabbar. Wilkins kicks it to West. Feeds to Abdul-Jabbar. And Kareem throws it down.
And feels like that one could be the dagger. Not enough time to completely erase this deficit.
Well, Greg, it's going to be tough, that's for sure. A shot like that has to devastate the other team.
And the Jazz call time here.
Señor gerente Rino, usted está obligado y en la obligación, si un equipo deja a jugadores libres, usted está en obligación a anunciarlo públicamente. Que veo como que veo como que el nuevo ha cambiado de equipo otra vez. Y usted no está anunciando si cambian de equipo. Entonces se con transparencia. El Gary Fravelli parece que se deshizo de unos jugadores y no se han anunciado la agencia libre.
And using that wide reach to reject shots. Aiden can't afford to throw up weak stuff around the big fella.
Fires the 3. Another miss by Utah. Houston leading by 17.
And this is going to end in a lopsided victory. I love the tenacity and aggressiveness as well as the ability to close. You really got to give it up here for the Rockets.
You know, it's tough to put your finger on the deciding factor in this one, but I'd say that the shooting accuracy made the difference.
Yeah, I think you're on point, Kevin. They got better looks, and that tends to lead to a better field goal percentage.
And it'll go down as their first official win of the new year. Davis Bertans checks in for Fareed. And Utah with a change here, too. Gordon's checked in. .44 seconds left in the fourth. And good that time. And the Rockets lead by 19.
And that's a killer instinct on display as they try to put this one on ice.
I think that's exactly the mentality you have to have. You don't want to give this team any hope of coming back.
Here's Blakeney. Passes it to Sigford. Lays it up and banks it in.
Check out that assist. You can tell a player who's seeing the whole floor very well.
And they can just dribble the ball until the buzzer.
Yeah, they got to be happy with the outcome.
Pass to Nathan. Just 5 on the clock. Kicks to Ayton. Over Chris. So we see Houston taking the W here. It was a tale of two teams tonight. One that was in total control, operating flawlessly, and the other just searching for answers that they could never find.
I mean, the energy here is just so tremendous. Fans involved from the get-go, and once they started to really pour it on, it was fun to see that rhythm and flow from their perspective.
And that'll do it for the first game of the NBA season. For Greg Anthony, Doris Burke, and David Aldridge, this is Kevin Harlan saying thanks for watching. See you next time.